All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last part of this lesson, part 3. We're going to look at this question. Remember, in this lesson, on these 3 parts of the lesson, we're just looking at variance and the standard deviation. So question 4, or the last question, says the data presents the age of 40 women. Okay, so there are 40 women, and each of these women have a boyfriend. Construct a grouped frequency distribution of 5 classes. So in the question itself, whenever we are asked to construct a distribution in a given class, then we are already looking at grouped data. All right, so the data that is given here, they want us to make it grouped. The way it is here, there is no frequency in here, but they want us to group the data so that it has frequency. And how we're going to group that is we're going to group in classes of 5. So I repeat that. The data is ungrouped, but they want us to group the data and present it with a frequency in classes of 5. Okay, so from then we will find the variance and the standard deviation. So I've pre-organized the data. So the first thing that you will have to do is make sure you rearrange the data starting from the smallest number going to the biggest number, or in other words, you arrange the data in ascending order. You arrange from the smallest to the biggest. After you arrange the data in ascending order, that's when you can proceed on to constructing a grouped frequency distribution of a given class. So now this is also another important part, because if you make a mistake here, you will be marked wrong for the table, though the variables will be the same, but you'll be marked wrong for the table. So now let's look into that. So the first thing that I started doing was I rearranged my data starting with the smallest. This order is very useful. I said, how many 13s do we have? We only have 1 13s. How many 15s do we have? We have 2 13s and 4 16s, and so on and so forth. So this arrangement, 13, 15, 15, 16, 16, 16, 17, 17, 17, 18, 18, 18. Okay, we are increasing the variables. So this arrangement is very helpful. So after arranging this data, I created the table. Okay, so I created the table, and the first thing that we need is we need to determine how many columns we're going to need. So we're going to need a column for classes, a column for midpoints, a column for frequency, a column for frequency times the midpoint, a column for the deviations, and the deviations squared. Okay, let me do this. All right, so now on finding the classes, remember we've been taught that we need to find, we need to group our data with a class of 5. Okay, with a class of 5. So we look at the smallest number that is there. What is the smallest number? That is 13. So we are going to count 5 digits from 13. So 13 will be the first one. So it will be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the lower class will be 13 and the upper class will be 17. Okay, so now since we start from 17, to get the next class 17, what number follows? It is 18. From 18, we're going to count 5 times again, 5 digits. So remember, we're taught to group in classes of 5. So 18 will be the first number, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this will be the class. So from 18, the first number, 22 will be the second number. 22, the next that will follow is 23. 23, again, we're going to count from 23, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So from 23 to 27. So as you can see, our biggest number is 27, so there is no need for us to proceed. So this is how we are going to get the classes. So classes of 4, if it was classes of 4, we would start from 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 times, right? 13, 1, 14, 2, 15, 3, 16, 4. But in this case, we're dealing with 5 classes. So from 13, we're counting 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 times. Yeah. So that will be the classes. So we're counting digits, right? From 13 to 17. So now for the midpoints, we just need to get the smallest number of our class. For instance, in this case, 13. We add it to the biggest number of our class, 17. So we say 13 plus 17, which is 30. Then we divide that by 2, which is 15. So that will be the midpoint. So 13 plus 17 divided by 2 will give us 15. So that is the midpoint. Again, to get the midpoint for 18 and 22, we say 18 plus 22 divide by 2, which is going to give us 20. 40 divided by 2, 20. Same applies for the mid class of 23 and 27. We just add the 2, we divide by 2, it will give us 25. Now to find the frequency, let me just clear this out so that you follow on how I filled in the table for the frequency. So for the frequency, we're going to look at our class interval. The classes are starting from 13 to 17. So according to our data, how many numbers are there from 13 to 17? So we start counting. From 13 to 17, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 will be our frequency of from 13 to 17. Again, to find the frequency for the class interval 18 to 22, we're going to look at how many numbers are there from 18 to 22 in our given data set. So from 18, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So the frequency is 19. Okay, so again from 23 to 27, how many numbers are there from 23 to 27? We have 23 to 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 there. So 10 will be our frequency from 23 to 27. So this is basically how I got the frequency. Then to get f times x, we just multiply the frequency times the midpoint. So 11 times 15 is 165. 18 times 20 is 380. 10 times 25 is 250. And that basically gives us f of x. So now from here we need to find the mean because of the requirements of the second column. We need to find the mean so that we get the midpoint minus the mean, and that will fill up this column. So to get the mean, remember for grouped data, formula for mean is this right here. So we need sigma f of x. Sigma is the summation of f of x. So we need to sum these variables in this column. 165 plus 380 plus 250 will give us the sigma of f of x right here. Then we divide by the sigma of f. So sigma is addition of f. So f is addition of this plus that. So now the mean, so when we add the frequencies, which is sigma f, we're going to get 40. And when we add f of x, we're going to get 795. So we just plug this on top there and this at the bottom, and what we're going to have So this will be the mean right here. So 19.875. So now we just need to find the variable x minus the mean. So we'll say so when you subtract the midpoint by the mean, you're going to get these variables. If you want to check that what you've done is correct, you can multiply the frequency column by each of these variables, then you add them. The addition of this and that will give you 0. Okay, the addition of that and that will give you 0. Let me just punch in the formula for you so that we prove it. So this is the frequency, which is from D. So we're going to say the sum from D1. Oh, okay. You can do that at your own time. All right, so for due to time, you can do that by yourself. So when you multiply the frequency times this and so on, and you add everything, you get a 0. So from here, we are going to square the deviations. So we're just going to say this is our n10. Square. So basically, I've squared negative 4.875, which has given me the number here, 23.7656. So when we square the rest of the variables, we're going to get. So when we square each of these variables, we're going to get these numbers. 0.125 squared, we're getting that. 5.125 squared, we're going to get that. From here, we're going to multiply the frequency times these deviations squared. So we're saying 11 times 23.7656, which is going to give us so we multiply the frequency times this, we're getting 261.4219. Then we multiply 18, the frequency times 0. That we're going to have, let me just do that. We're going to have 0.28152. Then we multiply, so we multiply 10 by this 26.265, we're going to get that number right there. So now remember, we're trying to compute the variance and the standard deviation. So basically what we need for the formula, so in our formula for variance, we need the summation of f times x minus x bar squared. So we need the summation of these variables that are here. So when we sum these variables here, we're going to have that. So sigma of f of x. So adding this, and when we add, we put a sigma in front. So sigma of f of x minus x bar squared is equals to 524.3594. So we have the top part of our equation. We also need the bottom part, which is the frequency 40 minus 1. 40 minus 1 will give us 39. So now our standard deviation formula now being, so replacing in our formula our variance becomes 13.4451. So this is our variance. Now to find the standard deviation, we just find the square root of the variance. So to get the standard deviation, you just square the variance. So this is the variance. You put it in the square root. So you say standard deviation will be equal to the root of 13.4451, which is 3.667, which can be approximated as 3.7. So this is it for the lesson. I'm going to post some more examples for you to try out.